I'm Carly. Standing at the head of the table, I watched as the room full of shocked faces stared back at me. The silence was deafening, broken only by the hum of the projector and the heavy breathing of my family. My brother, Ryan, was sitting across from me, his face a mask of disbelief and anger. My parents, David and Lisa, looked equally stunned, their eyes wide and their mouths agape. Just moments ago, I had revealed myself as the owner of Seastone Holdings LLC, the company that had purchased the controlling debt of Horizon Capital, the firm Ryan was trying to join as a partner. I had also exposed his fraud, showing the real balance of his bank account and the forged documents he had tried to use to secure the deal. As I looked around the room, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. For years, I had been the overlooked daughter, the one who worked hard and played by the rules while Ryan was showered with praise and opportunities. He had always been the golden child, the one my parents believed would bring them wealth and status. But I knew the truth. I knew that Ryan was a liar and a fraud, and I was determined to stop him from ruining our family. It all started a few weeks ago when I received a tip from a colleague about a potential investment opportunity. Horizon Capital was a well-known firm in the financial industry, but I had heard rumors that they were in trouble. My colleague had sent me some financial data, and I quickly realized that the company was in serious debt and on the verge of collapse. At first, I considered warning my parents, but I knew they wouldn't listen. They were so blinded by Ryan's charm and charisma that they refused to see the truth. They had already mortgaged our family home to help Ryan with his latest business venture, and I knew they would do anything to keep him from failing. So, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I used my savings and some creative financing to purchase the controlling debt of Horizon Capital through Seastone Holdings LLC. It was a risky move, but I knew it was the only way to stop Ryan and save our family from financial ruin. Once I had control of the company, I hired Mr. Thompson, a forensic accountant and compliance officer, to help me uncover the extent of Ryan's fraud. He worked tirelessly to gather evidence, and within a few days, we had a solid case against him. I knew that the moment of truth was approaching, and I had to be prepared. I spent hours planning my strategy, deciding when and how to reveal myself. I wanted to make sure that Ryan and my parents had no choice but to face the consequences of their actions. And now, here we were. The room was tense, and I could feel the anger and frustration radiating from my family. But I didn't care. I was done being the silent observer, the one who faded into the background while Ryan took all the credit. This was my moment, and I was going to make it count. I took a deep breath and began to speak. Ryan, you've been living a lie for a long time. You've used our parents' love and trust to fuel your own greed and ambition, and you've put our family at risk. But those days are over. I'm the owner of Seastone Holdings LLC, and I'm not going to let you get away with this. Ryan's face turned red with rage. You're lying. You're just jealous because I'm the successful one in the family. You've always been a failure, and you're just trying to ruin my life. I shook my head. I'm not lying, Ryan. And I'm not jealous. I'm just tired of watching you hurt our family. You've lied, cheated, and stolen your way to the top, and it's time for you to pay the price. I turned to my parents. Mom, Dad, I know you love Ryan, but you have to see the truth. He's not the person you think he is. He's a fraud, and he's been using you for his own gain. But it's not too late. We can still save the house and our family, but we have to do it together. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Carly, I can't believe you're saying these things. Ryan is our son. He would never do anything to hurt us. I looked at her with compassion. Mom, I know it's hard to accept, but it's the truth. Ryan has been living a double life, and he's in way over his head. If we don't do something now, we could lose everything. My father sat in silence, his head in his hands. He looked defeated, and I knew that he was finally starting to realize the magnitude of the situation. After a long moment, he looked up at me.
Carly, I'm sorry.
I should have listened to you. I should have seen what was going on. But it's not too late. What do we need to do? I took a deep breath. We have two options. Option one is to go to the police and press charges against Ryan. He will face prison time, and the house will be seized as evidence. Option 2 is to work out a deal with Ryan. He will sign a document formally withdrawing his application and waiving all future claims against Horizon Capital. He will also admit to a clerical error and resign from the industry in this city. In exchange, we will keep the house in a trust, and you and Mom will be able to live there for the rest of your lives. But there's one condition. Ryan will be cut off completely. He will be removed from all joint accounts with you, and he will never be allowed to approach you for a loan or an investment opportunity again. My parents looked at each other, then back at me. We'll take option 2, my father said. We just want to save the house and our family. I nodded. Okay, then I'll have Mr. Thompson draw up the paperwork. Ryan, if you sign these documents, you'll be able to walk away from this with your reputation intact. But if you don't, I will have no choice but to go to the police. Ryan looked at me with hatred in his eyes. You're just like them, Carly. You're all against me. You're all trying to ruin my life. I shook my head. I'm not trying to ruin your life, Ryan. I'm trying to save it. You've made some mistakes, but you can still learn from them. If you sign these documents and start over, you can still have a future. Ryan sat in silence for a long time, then finally he nodded.
Fine.
I'll sign the documents. But I'll never forgive you for this, Carly. You've destroyed my life. I looked at him with pity. Ryan, you destroyed your own life. I'm just the one who had the courage to expose the truth. Mr. Thompson handed Ryan the documents, and he signed them without hesitation. I watched as he stood up and gathered his things. He looked at me one last time, then turned and walked out of the room. The room was silent for a moment. Then my mother stood up and walked over to me. She put her arms around me and hugged me tightly. Thank you, Carly, she said. You saved our family. I smiled. It's okay, Mom. I'm just glad we were able to work things out. My father stood up and walked over to us. He put his hand on my shoulder. You're a strong woman, Carly. I'm proud of you. I felt a tear roll down my cheek.
Thank you, Dad.
That means a lot to me. As I looked around the room, I realized that things were going to be different from now on. I was no longer the invisible daughter, the one who was ignored and overlooked. I was the one who had saved our family, and they would never forget it.